In this video, I'm going to show you how you can easily outline your kids' book and come up with a really great story in less than 5 minutes. And this is going to be an original story from your head, and we're going to use some modern tools to do it. So the first thing I want you to do is click right here on this card and download this template here. This is our kids' book story clock template. And how it works is it breaks up your story into 12 basic steps. And it goes around like this, just like a clock. And it's really convenient because if you split your story into 12 steps, then that's 12 spreads for your book, which is not only a great amount of pages to have in your kids' book, but it's also perfect for printing with Amazon KDP. Now, this template's really great because you can just kind of start to make something up, especially if you already have a character in mind. So let's say we have a character named Cool Cat. And Cool Cat always calms his friends down. You know, he's just a good friend on the playground, out at birthday parties, that kind of thing. And so in the middle here, we're going to think of a title. It doesn't have to be the perfect title, just kind of a basic idea. So like Cool Cat, something birthday party, okay? And then we're going to start here at number 1, normal life. They're doing something normal, and then something happens to change what's going on. So maybe Cool Cat's hanging out at home, and you can draw something if you want to. You can just write it. You could do both. So we'll just say a home, you know, and he's just kind of hanging out at home. Let's say maybe on the couch, right? Here's the couch. That's the good thing about this phase is we're going to draw these little thumbnails, and you don't have to draw very well. All you have to do is be able to sort of tell what's going on. Okay, so he's at home, something happens. So he gets a phone call. All right, so let's just draw the phone there. Okay, this is an old Nokia phone for some reason, apparently. All right, phone call. Then maybe he thinks, should I go to the party? Should I go? Yes. Yes, he decides to go. So he walks to the party, right? So he's walking to the party. Good job, Cool Cat. Maybe he has a gift. It'd be kind of fun to have a gift. But maybe he gets to the party and everyone's going crazy. You don't have to have this perfectly figured out right now. We're going to kind of go around once, and then you can always just go around and change it. It's not that big a deal. So then failure once. So there's a big problem and he tries to attack it. So he tries to talk to kids. You know, he tries to talk to his friend. He tries to talk to friend, and the friend's busy, okay? So actually, let's put this here. Friend is busy, and he's sad. So then he tries to talk to somebody else, or maybe he tries to get pizza or something. Tries to get some pizza. He's excited for that. Yay, pizza, pizza. And the pizza's all gone. There's just crumbs. So then maybe he's sitting alone, and he's sad about the party. Sad cat. Okay. And then one more try. So basically, so far we've had normal life. He decides to do it. He goes out, and then there's some kind of conflict. He tries to deal with it, but it fails. There's another conflict. He tries to deal with it and it fails. And then, oh no, what's he going to do? This right here is where he learns his lesson, where he does something important. He does kind of the moral of the story, the big moment, right? And so what could happen here? Maybe his friend, and it could be him choosing something, or it could just be something that works out. His friend comes and saved him pizza, right? So which friend? This original friend that he was trying to talk to, this guy. What's cool about this clock is you can connect one side to the other. And the more connections that you have across this clock like this, that means if you have something that happens here that's sort of related to something here, then the more powerful your story will be. So we have this original friend, right? And so this is actually going to happen right here too. This is the same friend. And so if you don't know what to put in like this box, you can look across the clock and see if there's anything to draw a little bit of inspiration from. So I think that works pretty well. His friend comes and saves him pizza, and then him and his friend play, let's say. Yay. So they play, and they're happy, have fun. That's victory and celebration. Maybe they're eating cake. This is a literal celebration this time, but it doesn't have to be an actual party. It's just main character is glad that they made this choice, right? So they're glad that they did this. Celebration for going to the party, right? Because they're having cake, he's having fun with his friends, yay. This could be something like they're glad that they beat the bad guy, you know? For a kid's book, it's not a bad idea to actually have a literal party at the end, but some kind of moment where we explore that this was a good experience, even though we had hard parts during the time. So if you follow this, you're going to have a decent story. And again, it's just going to take a few minutes to really, just to make something up. If you take another 5 minutes and go through and just refine this, it's going to be even better. And by the time you go through this 2 or 3 times, you're going to have a really solid story. Now, one little bonus tip. We don't want to just take our entire story from just a generated AI thing, like a ChatGPT or something like that. But we can use it for inspiration. In ChatGPT, what I've done was I described the kind of story that I want to make. I'm making a short story about a wiener dog that goes on adventures. It's a really wacky kids book with silly and far-fetched themes. The dog will do things like fly to space, eat tacos, rescue the gummy bear kingdom, and from the big fat unicorns, give me 10 story ideas for wild adventures. Is great for a little bit of inspiration. And so I wouldn't recommend just taking exactly a story that ChatGPT gives you, but it can, especially if you want to make a really silly story, it can give you things that would normally be a little bit harder to think of, right? And so here's a wiener dog in space, Taco Tuesday trouble. There's a taco dimension behind the fridge. That's a really great idea, right? Something with underwear, that's always funny. There's a dinosaur disco. There's a surfing one. This is stuff that I just wouldn't have thought of. And so we can take this kind of stuff and use it for inspiration, right? Without just having ChatGPT do all the work, because we know that's not very genuine and you just won't have an awesome story just generated by AI. You got to have a little bit of your creativity in there too, which is why we're doing it, right? And so I've went through this a few times and kind of a little bit. And the great thing about it is ChatGPT will even draw you little storyboards, which can be used for inspiration, give you ideas. And ChatGPT will remember everything in your chat. And so this was a few days ago, I was doing this, but here I can just say, give me 5 basic ideas about the dog going to space. And so now these are just kind of prompts, and I can take one of these and I can put it into this template and make my own original story with just a little bit of inspiration here. So if it's a wiener dog, okay, wiener dog's favorite squeaky bone accidentally gets lost into space by a backyard rocket. He builds his own ship and zooms across the galaxy to retrieve it, space hamsters, dodging asteroid spaghetti, and finally finding it on the moon made of cheese. So this is like probably too much for a book that's short like this, but I love the idea of a backyard rocket. I love space hamsters. I think that's pretty cool. Going to the moon would be fun. So any one of these might be good. Here's other ideas for going to space. When the moon slugs start stealing dreams from Earth, wiener dog blasts off to help them with the help of a robot cat and a jetpack. He sneaks into their slimy moon palace and barks them back to their home planet. See, I think that's pretty funny. Like, he barks at them so much they just leave. And so these little tidbits that you can get from ChatGPT, and then you use your own creativity to plug it into this story clock. So yeah, that's the big idea. You can get this for free. Download it. Let me know what you think. We're going to be making lots of videos about making kids book. So tell us what you would like down below. Okay? Thanks for watching.